This one, alright, is a question that says find Tn of the sequence 0, 4, 10, 18, 28. Now, what we've been used to recently is arithmetic series. But what you're going to notice is the gaps between each one, there's a problem. So I'm just going to write them out here, right? So 0, 4, 10, 18, 28. Now what you're going to notice is that the gap, the first set of gaps is a gap of 4, a gap of 6, a gap of 8, and a gap of 10. Now you notice that the formulas we've used before, okay, they can't be used anymore because there is no distance, okay, so that's a problem. Now, what you do then is you then get the gaps of the gap, if you will, and you'll notice that that is actually the same each time. It's a distance of 2 between each one, okay? So as done again, alright, the first gap is 4, second gap is 6, third gap is 8, fourth gap is 10. Then you look at the numbers 4, 6, 8 and 10. The gaps between each one of them is a gap of 2. Okay? So what you have to do for this one is, you wouldn't have seen this equation before. There's going to be an equation called Tn equals an squared plus bn plus c. Okay? This tells you, because we know that this is an arithmetic series, okay? Okay guys, this is the formula, alright? You haven't seen it before. To use this formula you have to do the following, okay? Whatever your second gap is, so this the first difference is in red, the second difference is in blue. Whatever that is, your A value is half that value. So A therefore is going to be a half of what? 2. So you know that A is a half of 2. That's just using the formula. Currently speaking, there's no real understanding to it at the moment. So therefore A equals, what's a half of 2?
1 squared.
1. So it's 1n squared plus bn plus c. Now this is what gives us Tn. Okay? So at the moment we'd go back up and use T1 and T2. So this one's T1 and this one here is T2. Okay? What does T1 actually mean in regards to the formula? It means replace all n's with 1. So T1 equals 1 squared plus b times 1 plus c, and we know that T1 has to equal 0. This here's the general formula. It's not given to you in the table, so you need to learn it off. To find out what T1 is, replace all n's with 1. Okay, then you're going to get 1 plus b plus c equals 0. You're going to bring over the 1 and you're going to get b plus c equals minus 1. This is the first formula and it comes from using T1. You notice that's half of a simultaneous formula. Next thing we're going to use is T2. T2 means replace anything in this formula here where you see n, replace n with 2. So you're going to get 1 times 2 squared plus b times 2 plus c, and all of that should equal the second term, and the second term is the number 4. Okay, so equals to number 4. Okay, then you multiply it out, you get 4 plus 2b plus c equals 4. The 4's on both sides will cancel, and what you're getting is 2b plus c equals 0. This here is T2, a formula that comes from using T2. You notice that both formulas are a simple simultaneous equation. So I'm going to do is I'm going to write the first one underneath it. You need to choose a letter to get rid of. Which letter would you like to get rid of?
Should we choose that one there?
I'd get rid of c's. So I multiply both sides by minus 1. Minus equals 0. So what I'm going to get is
minus 0.
0, same thing as minus 0. So I'm going to get b equals 0. And because b equals 0, what does that tell you about c? 2 times, use the first formula, 2 times b, 2 times 0 plus c equals 0. Therefore, c also has to be equal to
Zero.
0. Okay? So, okay guys, so what happened there was the second equation wasn't taken down right, so we'll just start this again from scratch with the simultaneous equation. 2b plus c equals 0, b plus c equals minus 1. Sorry guys, everything up to this point was grand, but I took down the first equation wrong. So what you get here is the following. You once again multiply by minus 1, so you're going to get minus b minus c plus 1. Then what you get is b equals 1. Now because b equals 1, you can go up to your original formula. B plus c equals minus 1. B is 1 and b plus c equals minus 1. What does that tell you c has to be?
Minus 2.
C will have to be minus 2. Now, your Tn formula was an squared plus bn plus c. Therefore, it has to be, what did we say a was again? Half the difference, which is 1 n squared. What's b? 1, and c is? This is how you get Tn. Notice that Tn is a quadratic formula. Okay? Beforehand, all our Tn's look something like this. The difference between this section and the last section is the old section had linear equations. This section has quadratic equations for Tn. Okay? Now we can go up to the next part. It goes, find out what T10 is. Okay? Now, what we could have done was, there's two ways of looking at this. The first way of looking at it is, if that's T5, the next gap must be 12. Okay, so what would T6 be? That's what T6 be? Oh, sorry. Yeah. T6 would be 40. What would T7 be? 54. T8? 70. T9? 88. And T10? That's a gap at 18, there's a gap at 20, so 108. Does everybody understand that it's going up by, so the last gap was 12, the next gap is 14, this gap is 16, this gap is 18, this gap is 20. Our answer is 108. Let's see if our formula works to give us 108. So what we do is replace all n's with 10. So we're going to get 10 squared plus 10 minus 2. And as it turns out, it's 108. So our formula tells us what we can do manually. Now, the reason why we use the formula is if I actually define t 100, are you going to count that high? No. Okay?